Welcome to The Shoreline, brought to you by Shores and Islands, Ohio, where finding your Lake Erie love is a sure thing. Thank you for joining us. I'm your host, Jill Bauer, PR Manager for Shores and Islands, Ohio, and we bring you The Shoreline every week to give you the inside scoop on what's happening here in our island and coastal communities. Happy day after spring forward. I hope you all survived losing an hour of sleep, but hey, if it gets us one step closer to actual spring, I will take it. Joining me once again today is my best gal, Megan. Megan, who does our social media for Shores and Islands, Ohio. Hey, Megan.
Hello, hello. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So we talked a little bit last week about Sandusky Restaurant Week coming up, and now it's happening. It's happening right now. And I know that you've been out and about doing some previewing for and seeing some of those menu offerings, things that are happening at our local restaurants. So what has you excited for this week? What so far has you like, okay, everybody needs to go check this out. Where should we be going this week?
Yes. Okay. So I have some insider info that I'm so excited to share. I got to preview Sora and Oak's menu, and I have to recommend their strawberry roll. And please forgive me. Yes. Okay. So it is eel, avocado, and strawberry. And I know that sounds different, but it is unreal. The flavors, it's just so sweet and savory, and it's chef's kiss. It's so, so good.
Nice. And that's one of the special things they're doing for Restaurant Week?
Yes, it's one of their specials that they are doing. They also have a couple other rolls and some exclusive appetizers. Very, very excited for this menu and to just hear what everyone thinks about it. And of course, got to show some love for Mr. Smith's Coffee. They have a fun coffee drink just for the week as well, but lots of delicious food. So come hungry, get your stretchy pants ready, and get ready to just eat your way through Sandusky.
So we know, and we kind of alluded to it last week, that we have a digital Restaurant Week passport available.
Yes.
And I know that you posted a great video last week as well, showing everyone how to download the digital Restaurant Week passport. So can you walk us through that a little bit, what you know about it, how it works?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you go to shoresandislands.com, we have a Restaurant Week tab for Sandusky Restaurant Week. And if you click on that, there's just right there a video for you that kind of walks you through it. All you have to do is just have a phone, to be honest. It'll ask you to add this to the cart. You'll add it to your cart. There's no cost to it whatsoever, so it's completely free. You just need your email and your phone number to officially log in. And then it just gives you all of the restaurants on this digital pass that are involved with Sandusky Restaurant Week. It can give you their menus. It kind of helps to plan your week. So if you're, say at work and you're thinking about maybe what you want to eat for lunch, you could put, based on locations, what's closest to you and kind of map out your day based on that. There's also a video that's pinned to our Facebook and our Instagram just for an easy, quick reference for you. If you are out and about at the restaurants, they will also be able to support you with signing up for this digital passport. And finally, you are welcome to come to any of our welcome centers, the Port Clinton office in the west or the Sandusky office downtown in the east. And any of our travel counselors will be more than happy to help you get signed up and logged in for this as well.
Sounds just absolutely amazing. I'm really looking forward to it. Always fun things to try. It's a great opportunity to try a restaurant you haven't ventured out to before, or hit up an old favorite and try something new there, because they always have fun and exciting things going on for Restaurant Week. So just a reminder, Sandusky Restaurant Week does continue through this Sunday, March 15th. And Megan, I also know that you were blessed to be able to promote our friends at Destination Toledo recently, who also have a Restaurant Week going on. Tell us a little bit about your trip to Toledo.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Destination Toledo, they are wonderful, and they had me come to attend their restaurant week. They just had some wonderful participating restaurants with unique menu options as well. They had a digital passport too, so it was kind of fun to familiarize myself with it and then get ready for Sandusky Restaurant Week. But they're so lovely, and they're an hour drive from Sandusky. So if you're looking for a 24-hour getaway to Toledo, just to kind of break apart the winter blues, as we've been sort of talking about. It's so much fun. Also on our Instagram, our TikTok, and our Facebook account. So if you want to sort of visit what I did when I was there, everything that you need to know is on our social media pages, and it's a great place to visit.
And what a great partnership that we have with our
Yes.
friends at Destination Toledo. And, sometimes they come to our area as well and tell their fans and followers about Shores and Islands, and we tell our fans and followers about Toledo. So I love that. I'm glad that you were able to do that, and a nice tie-in that we're having our restaurant week going on this week as well. Speaking of events, rather than highlighting a lot of events coming up today, I'm going to direct our listeners to our blog. As always, if you go to shoresandislands.com and click on the blog at the top, that will take you to all of our blog articles. And the most recent is all about March and April event highlights. We have 30 or so different fun events that are happening over the next few weeks, including St. Patrick's Day, lots of Easter events, a few spring craft shows, and of course, some America 250 events. I will highlight two things that really stood out to me as rather unique events that are coming up. First is a fundraiser for the Firelands Cat Coalition, and Megan and I are both huge cat lovers. This organization is raising funds to help control the feral cat population in our communities. And they're having a fun music event called Meow Stock. They've got some really cool bands and a spaghetti dinner planned at the North Coast Rockin' Ranch in Sandusky on March 28th. The second event that I had to shout out is a brand new event, I'm pretty sure, because I don't remember this ever happening before, but island season is right around the corner, folks. Put-in-Bay always has quirky island events, and this year Mr. Ed's Put-in-Bay is opening up early, and they're having a halfway to Halloween party on April 18th. So there you go. Halloween fans, get your costumes ready. There's no need to wait till October. The island is ready to celebrate now. So that's just a reminder that spring is here. Island season is just around the corner. And if you've got that cabin fever, it's time to get out of hibernation and into vacation. March episodes of the podcast are promoting your splash-filled family getaway. Spring break is just around the corner, and the forecast is calling for warm weather fun at our 3 indoor water parks. Enjoy limited time savings at shoresandislands.com/spring-splash. The slides are ready when you are. Well, we continue our series today featuring our 3 amazing indoor water park resorts. Today, we've got friend of the pod, Tony Clark, joining us once again. This time, he's here to chat with us all about Castaway Bay. Tony is regional manager of public relations for Six Flags Entertainment Corporation and is the official spokesperson for Ohio's 2 properties, Cedar Point in Sandusky and Kings Island near Cincinnati. He is responsible for local and national media relations and strategy, crisis communications, and creative storytelling for both parks. He is also directly involved with new attraction planning, guest-facing strategic communications, and cross-functional team management. His storytelling background includes a combined total of almost 30 years in commercial radio, broadcast television news, and amusement park communications. Tony is an avid tourism and theme park industry fan and loves to experience everything they have to offer. And you all know and love Tony Clark. He's been with us several times, so welcome back to the Shoreline, Tony.
Thank you for having me back. It's exciting. It's been a while.
Yeah, well, today it's all about spring break. We're over winter. We're ready for spring.
Absolutely.
Yes, we are looking forward to busting out, and spring break is right around the corner. So in general, for our listeners who may not be familiar, can you give us just a quick overview of Castaway Bay and what truly sets it apart from other indoor water park resorts?
That is a great question, and I'm glad you asked it, because Castaway Bay is an interesting property where it is not geared toward, I would say, the complete thrill-seeking teenagers and young adults. What makes Castaway Bay so unique is that the resort was built for families with young children and families looking for kind of like the stepping stone into the water park genre. And it is a tropical themed resort, and we have 237 guest rooms throughout the property, a 38,000 square foot indoor water park, which is always 82 degrees inside, which we love.
We love that right now.
In fact, if I would be doing this podcast from there, except I think the humidity would kind of wreak havoc on the equipment. So I decided to do it in the office looking at a gloomy sky. But that's the tie-in there is that, there's all kinds of different suites, different rooms that accommodate every type of family. Plus, all the rooms include access to the water park during your stay. And the attractions inside the water park, you're not going to find giant, huge water slides like we have at Cedar Point Shores Water Park, but you're going to find the smaller attractions, smaller slides, wave pools, zero depth entry pools. There are some body slides, so we do have, you can definitely graduate from the wave pool up to those types of slides. We have a play structure with a tipping bucket that you can stand underneath and walk around and play with all the water gadgets. So we really tried to focus the attention on younger families who are still trying to take a break, but maybe aren't ready for some of the bigger resorts that are in our area or across the country that have just the really big, huge attractions. So it's more intimate, more quiet and calm, collected, but it still offers that getaway that you're looking for. You definitely feel like you are not in Ohio when you're there, and we take great pride on that, especially since we had our big renovation in 2020 during the pandemic. We kind of slowed that, and then we kicked it back up and continued that through 2021. So now it is completely refreshed, and it's got a great new theme, great new characters for the kids to meet, and lots of new great activities that weren't there before. So a great place to stay, especially if you are looking for something to do with smaller children who are just getting into this whole water park experience.
So we know that spring break travel can get expensive. How does Castaway Bay offer families that tropical getaway feeling without the cost of major travel and expenses?
That's also a great question because we know that this is a thing, and people are trying to save money and trying to get out and experience a tropical getaway, perhaps without breaking the bank. And we are currently in our spring break phase. For most of March, we're open daily, and then in April we take a couple weekdays off before we get ready for the Cedar Point season. But if you're looking to get away now, we're currently offering a couple packages that are definitely worth looking at. The first one's the Family Fun Package, and this one is running for a limited time. It basically includes your overnight stay, the indoor water park admission, which is always included with your stay, the Gamer's Grotto arcade card, so we give you some money to go play in the arcade. The kids love the arcade. We do have Blacklight Mini Golf, which is one of the newer attractions that we brought to the resort, and mini bowling, so we include a round of both of those, and also pizza and cheesy bread from Rocket's room service. And it starts at $198 a night. And even though it's more of a spring break package, it's actually valid through May 3rd. So you still have time to get to Castaway before the park actually opens for the season. So that's your all-inclusive, kind of has a little bit of everything for your stay. But if you want to do an a la carte kind of thing, you can now stay for as low as $99 a night. That's a general offer. So depending on the night you pick, the day you pick, the type of room, but they are as low as $99 a night, and that's valid through April 26th. And then the added bonus to all of this, an evergreen offer all year round, is if you are a season pass holder. So if you own a gold pass or a silver pass coming up for this year, you can get 10% off of your stay, not just at Castaway, but at all of our Cedar Point resorts here in Sandusky. So several options depending on what you're looking for, whether that's a night or two or an extended stay that includes a little bit of Cedar Point getting into the season. So lots of great ways to save money and kind of pick your own way to experience Castaway Bay.
Yeah, well, that's great. So one of the experiences at Castaway Bay that you're known for is the island theme and the characters. You mentioned them briefly. Can you tell us a little bit about the character interactions and kind of what they are and how they add something special for little kids?
Yeah, so we have a complete cast of characters, and the main one is Gordy the sea turtle. So you'll see they're all air, land, and sea themed characters, and the cute little activities that we do are kind of throughout the resort. So like in the lobby, Gordy and his friends all kind of get together and they do a little get going activity, as we call it. It's a little morning warm up where the kids can get shaking and wiggling and get the adrenaline pumping for the day. They also do karaoke in Club Castaway where kids can sing all their favorite songs with our characters. They do some games in the lobby. There's bingo that we play. Who doesn't love bingo? I'm a huge fan. They won't let me play, though, because I am an adult. So we also have a couple of storytelling things, too, where Gordy and his friends tell a little story about the island's inhabitants and all the people that live there and the characters that live there. And they retell a story of, quote, Gordy and the story of Castaway Bay. So you can learn more about the whole resort. But we have Flo the flamingo. She's also another popular character. Rocket, who is a sloth, aptly named Rocket. And what we wanted to do is when we redid the theme of Castaway Bay, we really wanted to make sure that we were catering towards those young families and building characters that are very unique to us and not necessarily relying on characters that already exist somewhere. That way we could do their own storytelling. They could, the activities could involve them, and they could really be a part of the thread of Castaway Bay. So you really do notice their presence throughout the entire resort. In fact, one of the cool things that we have that even I haven't seen all of them, but as you're going down the halls near the guest rooms, there are little interactive nooks where you can, like, I know one of them is like looking inside the door of one of the characters' residence, is his house. So you can like peer into the window and see. There's things with sound effects and things throughout the resort. So we really did think about this redo, I guess, and trying to make it really, really, really fun and friendly for families and kids, especially because that's what Castaway is about: the young kids and how to make sure they have a good time along with their parents.
That's awesome.
All right. So when it comes to dining, what options are available on site, and are there ways families can plan meals affordably during their stay?
Yeah, one of the biggest things that I think made news for not only the guests of Castaway Bay, but also for locals is the relocation and reintroduction of Famous Dave's Barbecue. So this was a restaurant that we had at Cedar Point that was only open during the summer months. We decided to relocate out to Castaway Bay, and now it is a year-round restaurant that you can enjoy. And obviously the traditional barbecue things that you're used to, and ribs and chicken and cornbread and more, all is there at Famous Dave's, and you can easily walk. It's connected to the resort, so you can easily walk to it. You can dine in, or you can carry out and head over to your room and enjoy dinner. But there's also several other dining options too inside the resort. Mama Chetta's Pizza is also an interesting one. This is a branded pizza that we used to sell here at Cedar Point many, many years ago. It was before my time. And we brought it back at Hotel Breakers. And so it's kind of headquartered there. Almost think of it like a ghost kitchen, where they make the pizzas there. You can order them at any of our resorts here, and you can get them delivered. So they make, of course, all the favorites, toppings and everything that you could possibly want. But we then brought it out to Castaway Bay, so that recipe and those pizzas are available. Who does not love pizza? I could eat it like 7 days a week.
All the time.
I'm not embarrassed to say it either. We've been known to order little Mama Chetta's during the work week when the park is open for a little lunch treat. But there's also other, smaller dining options. One of them is the biggest one is the High Tide Cafe, and that's where we have a breakfast buffet on offer. So that's kind of like the big gathering place. Then we have like the smaller spots that have, things that grab and go, desserts. Rocket's Market is one of the locations. You can get some coffee, espresso, some pastries, quick grab and go breakfasts. We also have the Sprinkle Shack, which another thing that I was not invited to try out when we first opened this, but oh, does it look delish. That's the Sweet Treat headquarters, where we do hand-dipped ice creams. We do flurries, milkshakes, sundaes. So that's your dessert area. But of course, we also have a Surfside Beach Bar inside the actual water park. And that has kind of a host of many of our different items: pizza, sandwiches, some hot snacks. And also for parents, mom and dad, you might need a craft beer or a frozen drink. That's where you get it, at the Surfside Beach Bar. So lots of options there while you're at the resort. It's not just the Famous Dave's. All those little other areas definitely cater to picky eaters, because as I know, parents are always looking for things for the kids. And as much as we introduce all these great culinary items here, even at Cedar Point, the kids still just want a hot dog, Yeah. Sometimes they just want a hot dog, and they just want some fries.
French fries.
Yes. Just like the seagulls want fresh fries.
Yes.
But yeah, we wanted to make sure we had a nice variety of those dining locations. And, you can definitely pick, not related to the spring break packages, but you can definitely usually add some of those items to your stay. But a lot of those are a la carte options, especially the Famous Dave's.
Well, that leads really nicely into my next question, which is about insider tips. What do you have to share with parents to help them maximize both the fun, but also the value of their stay? So they're really getting the most bang for their buck when they stay with you.
Yeah, the biggest one that we like to share, and I don't know that many people take advantage of it because maybe they don't know, but your water park pass is included the day that you arrive. So let's just say you're going to check in on Friday, and check-in is, I believe it's at 4. But you booked your travel, you're on the road, and you got here at 11. So little do people know you can still go to the water park before you check in. So you can really enjoy that part of it, and then check into your room, and then you have your place to stay. So that really maximizes the time in the water park, because a lot of people have not seen it. So when they go in, they kind of have to just get a sense of where everything is, what attractions there are, and where they want to take the kids and let the kids play. That's one of the biggest ones. I think the Famous Dave's is also a secret, but not really. I mean, it's there and people see it when they visit. But the fact that you can just call them up and order something while the kids are playing, and then have a burger, some ribs, and all the fixins ready to go just walk down the hallway in your bathing suit, because we've seen it. Like you just walk right down and you go pick up your food. They also have a full service bar too, by the way, so parents can sit in there and chill and wait for the food too. So those are good tips. And I also would be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that all of our resorts, including Castaway Bay, and this is getting ahead to the Cedar Point season, but it's important to know, and people don't know this also, if you stay at any of our Cedar Point resorts in town, you do get the early entry benefit. And that allows you to get into Cedar Point 1 hour before the park opens to the general public. And we usually open a set of rides and attractions that you can experience before, I would say, the rush of people come in, usually at the 10 o'clock time. So from 9 to 10 is the usual one, usual time frame that early entry happens. And you can enjoy some of our biggest rides. We also have some family rides open as well. So that's a benefit also not too many people know about. So again, if you're stretching that vacation during the summer, you got a couple days in the water park, you have a couple days in the amusement park, you can use that early entry benefit. But during the winter, definitely take advantage of getting there early, getting into the water park and enjoying it, and maximizing the water park hours, because the water park hours are a little bit different than some of the other activities. We try to schedule everything throughout the day so there is something going on at all times, but the water park usually opens around 11, and then it has limited hours at certain points during the week or during the season. They really do kind of change those up, but the goal is to keep the water park open as much as possible. But always, check our website. You can, when you book, you can ask or check the website for the dates you're looking at, and you can see the water park hours on our website. But definitely, that's my favorite, is just to utilize that water park the minute you get there.
Absolutely. So many good tips.
Yeah, these are great pro tips. I love it. Are there any recent upgrades, new attractions, or guest favorite experiences right now?
Well, the biggest thing that we have to share was really the renovation. Before that, Castaway Bay was before it was Castaway Bay, it was the Radisson many, many years ago. And then we changed it to Castaway Bay, added the water park, and it was just a tropical themed resort with it didn't really have a story, but it was definitely different than some of the other properties that were in the surrounding area. And so the renovation really around 2020 and 2021, that changed everything, because that then turned it into what it is today, which allowed us to add more dining experiences, add a ton of activities for families to do inside. One of the things that the previous resort had was meeting rooms. And what we found was, when we turned it to Castaway Bay, there were not many meetings and events booked there. And so we had all this space. So we're like, well, what do we do with all this space when we do the renovation? Well, we add more attractions and more things for people to do. And so that was another great transformation with all the things that we have there. One of the things we have is an escape room. We have the Castaway Island escape room.
Ooh.
Which we've added, which is really neat. Like I mentioned, there's mini golf, which I also was not invited to try. I'm a little sad because they said I could try it. They never invited me. Although technically I probably could still go over there and do that.
Yeah, Megan and I will meet you.
You know what?
Yes.
That might be a good podcast episode, is to take it on the road. Record us yelling at each other and trying to score and get out of an escape room. There's tiki bowling. We added bowling. I mean, like little mini bowling for kids too. So those are what I would call like the newer things that we have at the resort. But honestly, if you have not been there in a while, you're going to notice the whole Gordy and his friends story, along with the themes of land, sea, and air on each floor. And the water park attractions were, they were given a sprucing and new names. You're going to see a lot of those kinds of things that are all brand new. But again, if you're a fan of Castaway and you've been here many times, then you know that it is much improved from the previous version. And yeah, it's a fun place to explore now, especially with very young children who like to wander off and figure things out. And it's fun to see families really enjoy this property as it is today.
Oh, I bet. So, well, speaking of fun and fun to watch, Tony, if you were bringing a family to Castaway Bay, just for fun, if you personally had to make like a perfect day, like here's my perfect day at Castaway Bay from the time you check in until the time you tuck the kiddos into bed, like walk me through that day. What all are you doing?
Well, here's the thing. The first thing I think all the kids want to do is go right to the water park.
Well, that's why you got to check in. Like you said, come early, use the water park.
So yes. Pro tip number 1, use the water park. And as I'm looking at our hours, it looks like for our spring break time frame, the water park is open from 10 a.m. till 8 p.m. most days. Nice. So again, let's say we drive up from Columbus and we get here at 10:15. Well, good news, the water park's open. So nice. You can head to the desk, you can get your passes, head into the water park, change. There's locker rooms and everything there before you get into the water park. So you can go ahead and change in those locker rooms and then go out and enjoy the water park. Then they're going to get hungry, but that's good because we have food options inside the water park for a quick snack. At some point, you're probably going to have to go and check in. And so you do that at 4, you get your room. Maybe the kids want to take a nap. Maybe that's probably the best idea. Maybe take a nap.
Maybe you force the kids to take a nap.
Or force the parents to take a nap. Maybe the parents want to take a nap. You could do that as well. And then, the activities I think are some of the best parts. Because, the activities that we do, we have a whole activities team at Castaway. And when you get there, you will see the activities that are planned for the day. So they do change, but we have giant games that you can play in the lobby. We have steel drum performers that put on shows. So perhaps you grab an ice cream sundae and go sit in the lobby and watch a little steel drum performance. Nice. There's a dance party. We have crafts. If kids love to craft, we have Castaway Crafts, and that features, they can do paint. They use paint, glitter, glue, crayons, and do some really cool crafts that they can take home. And then, of course, the characters are always hanging out in the lobby. So I would take them to some of those craft activities. Crafting is always fun because they can kind of let their imagination soar. They're not at school, so there's no particular assignment. They just get to kind of do. Sometimes they do have things that they say, hey, this is what we're going to kind of work on. Kind of like when we do our paint and sip events as adults, where they give you kind of a blueprint, but nobody ever really ends up looking like that.
Right, but really just follow your heart.
Yes, just follow your heart and wherever the crayon takes you. So those types of things I would do. And then again, if they want to go back into the water park for a little bit, it's open till 8. So perhaps after a little dinner, you can stop in there for another hour to play. And then things kind of settle down after that. And everyone's probably all tuckered out and into bed everyone goes. But the water park is included with your stay. So you can take advantage of that anytime you want during those hours. And even at the wave pool, there are lounge chairs even for parents to set up shop if they'd like to. They know they're going to be there for the entire day. We've seen people do that as well, where they spend the entire day in the water park. Because the kids, they'll just keep playing until you tell them to stop.
That's right.
So we see a lot of that with our families, and it's just there's many options. And again, younger families is what this is geared toward, and we've pretty much set up a vacation of success for parents if they stay with us and see all the things that we have to do.
I'm also going to say that's a lot. You said a lot of things happening and it does sound like a perfect day, but there's almost so many things that you have to stay multiple days. I would say you could definitely stretch it.
Yeah, you really could, and it's a great. What we see a lot of is the weekend getaway during spring break, or even during the week, which is great. That's 2 to 3 days, and you could easily do plenty of there. And as you know, there's still lots to do in the area, so you could still venture away from Castaway Bay, and you could do all of the things that make Sandusky great, and then come back to the resort as well. Plus, again, the summertime too. I don't think a lot of people maybe think about this as a summertime stay because when you think indoor water park, you probably think, that's for the winter. That's, for people to get away from the cold.
It's year round, Tony. We know.
I know, but there are people that probably don't really take advantage of that because when you have a young family, you can still stay at Castaway. You can do the water park one day. You can go to Cedar Point another day. You could do the islands another day. There's just many ways to customize the vacation at Castaway Bay that is not just a wintertime or spring break type of experience. So we love when people come and get to see the whole area, and it's not just a Cedar Point or Castaway Bay stay. We love that. So
yeah,
come and explore everything we have to offer in the area, including our little home next to Cedar Point, Castaway Bay.
Well, we love that you again promote the entire region and all the things to do and just kind of jumping ahead a little bit to summer. You got any nuggets you can share with us on what's coming to Cedar Point in 2026? Anything we can be excited about?
Yeah, I mean, there's, we just had our winter chill out event where we invite.
Yes, I heard lots of great things from that.
Yeah, this is a charity fundraiser we do every February where we raise money for a kid again in Northern Ohio, their Northern Ohio chapter. And we give our guests a little winter tour so they can peek behind the curtain and see what our team does in the winter, because that's not a closely guarded secret anymore, but it's something that when you see up close, it's like, wow, this is what it takes to get Cedar Point ready for the summer. And we're here all year round, which people don't think. We're working all the way through the holidays. We work through the cold months of January, February, and even into March and April, we're getting ready for the season. So they get to come and see that. But one of the things they also get to know or find out is the new things that we're doing that we didn't announce yet. And we kind of just talked about a few of those because we just announced and opened 2 giant roller coasters. We're not going to see giant things. This is when we kind of start doing park improvements. So one of the biggest ones we're doing is the Starbucks renovations at both locations inside the park. So our Starbucks up front, our Starbucks in the Hotel Breakers, they're getting a little remodel and a refresh. In our Pagoda gift shop, we are making that one giant retail experience by knocking down one of the walls between Pagoda and the Sweet Spot. So now you can go from Pagoda, do your shopping there, sneak over to Sweet Spot and maybe grab a Rice Krispie treat or a chocolate-covered strawberry, and then head over to Peanuts at the Point, which is all of our Peanuts-themed merchandise, all without ever stepping outside and staying in the air conditioning. So
nice.
That's a new thing we're doing. And also the other one that I think is pretty big, you might laugh at it, but a bathroom renovation.
Not going to laugh at that. That's amazing. Who doesn't love nice, new, clean bathrooms? We'll have to put Cedar Point in for our Super Bowl awards next year.
I was just thinking that. Yes.
Oh, tell me more.
You tell us about the new bathrooms.
Oh, well, I think the finest restrooms on property are at Lighthouse Point when we renovated the Lighthouse Point RV sites. We built a whole new restroom complex from the ground up. But inside the park, I tell people that plumbing at a really old property is super expensive. So we can't just do all of them at once. We kind of have to do a phased approach. So this is the latest one to get redone. And that's the one on the Frontier Trail. It's right across from the Barnyard, which is our little petting zoo.
Yes. So stop and say hi to Churro.
Yep. Say hi to Churro, Curtis, and all the other little friends. And then right across from that, this restroom was one of the older ones that we hadn't gotten to yet. So it is currently getting refreshed. And, the goal is to make it all the way around the park and get every one of them redone. We know we hear about it all the time and we completely understand. And this is the one that we are doing this year. So we may have a first flush ceremony, which I'm super excited about.
We love that.
We thought about doing an auction for charity, the first sitter auction. But we're not doing that. But we are gonna attempt to flush all the toilets at the same time just to make sure that everything works in the new restaurant. But
looking forward to it.
So those are the biggies, and of course, little things like the food and beverage team is always coming up with new things, and we'll introduce those later. And then in our we're celebrating America with our Star Spangled celebration the week of July 4th, leading up to July 4th, with a lot of great activities inside the park, things for families, and of course, a giant fireworks display on the 4th, including skydivers throughout the day.
Wait, skydivers?
Oh, yeah.
How fun.
We used to do that a long time ago, and guests love it. Like these guys jump out and they do a couple shows a day, and sometimes they take like the smoke flares with them, and they do the colored patterns and things like that. Sometimes they do formations where they're all holding hands and going down, which I think is like the craziest. And you'll never ever see me doing that. But yeah, those performances will happen throughout the day on July 4th, and there's more little things we'll be doing throughout the event. But yeah, the full lineup and everything is at cedarpoint.com. But we're excited to get that season started. Again, Castaway Bay, early entry, still part of our family. You can still get discounted Cedar Point ticket packages during the summer. Right now, it's all about spring break, but don't forget that later, you should use Castaway Bay as an option too, because we do bundle ticket packages in there as well, where you can save off the gate price.
That is fantastic. Now, can you please remind our listeners where they need to go to get all of the details about Castaway Bay and spring break getaways?
Yeah, absolutely. You should visit castawaybay.com, which will take you to our official website. In fact, the spring break package is right there on the homepage. It's the family fun package. It's not called spring break package, but it is a spring break package, but it's the family fun package. And that gives you all the details on what's included. And again, pass holders will save an extra 10% off of that package by using their pass details. Plus, you can look beyond that. You can learn more about our dining, our attractions, our events. You can download the activities guide to see some of the activities I talked about today and read more about them in detail. And that's the place to go. And it is ready for you, and we're ready for you to come visit.
We are ready to shake off this winter snow and trade our snow boots for swimsuits.
Oh, hey, wait a minute. You're onto something now. Trade our
absolutely. Hey, don't be stealing our marketing, Tony.
Just wrote it down.
Yeah.
We're going to run it through legal real quick. And then we'll get back to I'll fight you over it.
Well, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Tony. We really appreciate you chatting with us today and sharing with us your inside tips and the best ways to save and how to really get the most out of your visit to Castaway Bay, and including Cedar Point when we're looking forward to summer. We're definitely going to have you back another time. We can talk more about Cedar Point, but as of right now, we're here for spring break, and hope everybody learned a lot from you, and really appreciate you sharing all of the Castaway Bay details with us.
I would be honored to come back. And I again, if you haven't checked out Castaway Bay, give us a first shot, especially if you are a young family or you have young little ones looking for a little water park fun. This is the place to definitely start them at. And aside from that, I will tell you, you might want to chat with me, because I think between spring break as of now and the next time you have me on, there might be something to talk about.
Oh, interesting.
That we haven't talked about yet. So maybe you do
interest peaked. I love it.
That's what we call a tease in the business.
Come back for more.
You're the first to hear this, by the way. So I expect your numbers to be sky high on this podcast, because people usually look for little tidbits like that, and then word of mouth spreads. And did you hear what he said? I know I'm not going to get in trouble for saying that, so I'm very happy to give you that little tidbit.
Love it. Well, I'll be on the lookout. We appreciate you giving us that little nugget, and we'll look forward to talking to you again.
Yeah, love you guys. Thanks for having us on again.
Yep. Thanks, Tony. Special thanks to Tony Clark from Cedar Point and Castaway Bay for joining us today, and of course to Megan for being here as well. A reminder that all of March's episodes of The Shoreline are brought to you by Spring Break in Shores and Islands, Ohio. Trade snow boots for swimsuits with deals at our indoor water park resorts. Learn more at shoresandislands.com/spring-splash. As always, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast, please be sure to like and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't don't miss a minute of the action here in Shores and Islands, Ohio. You can also find more information, including past episodes of the podcast, online at shoresandislands.com. We'll see you next time on The Shoreline.